My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. That's my real name, Victoria II. My father is King Edward VIII. My mom is Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Irish American, and my mom and dad were legally wed, and an imposter was used to take out my father, and I'm going to show that picture. This is not my father that married Wallace Simpson. So hopefully you can see that. My uncle, George the Sixth, here he is meeting with Roosevelt in 39, the year I was born, so you have to put two and two together. They were planning my kidnapping. Um, this is President Roosevelt and my uncle. Now then, that's in the illegal Monarch there. He stole it from his own brother and then helped kidnap me, and I hope you can see this. This is my father, the real King Edward VIII. Um, they wrote nothing but lies about him, smear campaign. Then they kidnapped me and brought me to Moulton, Alabama, gave me the name of the twin. This is the New World Order. Um, this is the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Henry Kissinger later on the Watergate tapes when they were going to do a lobotomy and yet on me. Yes, indeed, if my family and country didn't come through with the demand. So I put that on prior videos. I wanted to show as much as I can of the birth certificate of Peggy Ann Dempsey, the name that I still have to use. I married a Childers, and even has a different year. But there's always, even the state of Alabama just marked through, which is illegal, the birth dates and inserted the date they gave me, January the 7th of 39. So, who's going to do anything about it? Everybody knew about my kidnapping before I did in real name. I found out in '83. But here, the best I can do with the filming the dates of Peggy and Dempsey. Now, well, I don't believe the state of Alabama, they gave a letter that supposedly the doctor that delivered them made a mistake in the years, which is a joke. You don't see that on there. They left the 38, but here on Carl Preston, both the twins were killed by their mother. They were illegitimate, born out of wedlock, and their mother killed them, and the family covered it up. I didn't find this out until '83, and yes, the embassy, the British told me. But here is Carl, the birth certificate, and he does have a death certificate, and it's been not just modified, just out and out changed. So here's the date. They changed it to 39, just marked through on Carl's, the twin. Okay, that's the best I can do on that. Now that I want to show my real friends, they came the best that they could support me. This was back in, I believe, November. Well, it's on here. I should just read it if I think it's on here somewhere. I'm not. Okay, it's November the 26th of '57. That's when they had Diana's the gowns and all these things that my money paid for, by the way, that Elizabeth and her father in the New World Order and the Americans stole from. They made a pauper out of me. So here is the Brits, and dressed to kill means associated with the Queen, and they use one of them's name's Dempsey, the Brit, using the Dempsey name that was forced on me. Um, these were the common, they're here at Newcastle near Roanoke. I'm up on Full Heart Knob freezing and starving. Um, but the Brits are the ones who kept me alive and kept supporting me and trying to get me back. Now then, in the same article to the left is um, where Diana's gowns are being shown. The limos down at Hotel Roanoke. I can't even step foot in Hotel Roanoke. Um, I'm just a beggar, you know. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say this. And I want to show this woman who's the illegal monarch. And really, her and her dad, George VI, worked for the American government and allowed the United States to put its bases all over British soil. Hey, crime pays when you can get away with it, right? Here's Caroline Kennedy, and her grandfather, Joe, was the one that had kidnapped me. He was ambassador to England 36 to 46 when they lied and took out my father and kidnapped me. And then her dad and her uncle, Robert, just kept up using me as a hostage and torturing me. So here's her picture. She's ambassador now, has been confirmed to Japan. How's that? Crime pays. And Obama's even made a tape that he's part of the New World Order, and so is Elizabeth and Charles. And I believe I showed the double that was used to Mary Wallace Simpson. Now then, I did want to say this. I wrote a book back in 77 and 78 before I knew about being kidnapped and my real name, about mind control. One of the doctors that I had worked for had he was cardiovascular, and he had put a chip in the heart bypass he did of a man who was really, he was over, he wasn't the owner, so he would have been chairman of the board um, of a big produce company, huge. But this is what was going on, and I tried to write about. You can program people, or you can modify their behavior, or you can do anything with them, make them go out and kill, or their decision making, which is suddenly, well, I'm not even going to say that. That's in the news now. I've been telling this since early 70s, and then wrote the book and got filled full of antifreeze on April the 1st of 80 with a letter from the FBI on me. How's that? That was sent to me June the 23rd of 79. So here's your good presidents here. Jimmy Carter, who was governor of Alabama, then president, knew all about me. I lived in Marietta and Atlanta. Yet he made Andrew Young, Reverend, who black minister who was with Martin Luther King, was when he was shot in Memphis. By the way, that was a mind control shooting, and the patterns done in it. And Martin Luther King and Mrs. King and Andrew Young and all these people always knew who I am before I did. So Jimmy Carter appointed Andrew Young ambassador to the UN, which is another arm of the American government, the UN, and the New World Order. But anyway, it allowed Andrew Young to help take out South Africa and the colonies, British colonies in Africa, Kenya, Rhodesia, and you have to make it bad. So now then I hear them say that everybody loves Mandela, and they had to take down the white government. Well, the white government, quite frankly, it was British. It's me. They had me over here um, torturing the hell out of me, and they're making a hero out of Mandela. So long as they don't tell about me and my father and me writing about the mind control murders, which Americans have done to their own people. But it's been a joke what they've done to me. So now that I've said that, and I don't know what more other than the mind control murders, I did want to show just a few pictures. These happened over the years after I wrote the book. There's been a list. This is Elizabeth and Jens Orings and Elizabeth Haysom, who are in prison here in Virginia for killing her parents. These are decent young people who are just as much a victim as anyone. Mind control was used in this in the patterns. He's in Buckingham, Virginia State Prison. She's in Goochland. Now then, this is Eric Rudolph, the Atlanta bombings, Olympic Park. The Fort Hood shooter, and I'm not very organized here, so here he is. He went to Virginia Tech, which, by the way, the 33 shootings there, April the 16th of '07. There's been a list of them associated at Virginia Tech using mind control and University of Virginia. Here, he was a psychiatrist. So I think that's, no, I wanted to show one more. I never had a beef with the Virginia State Troopers. I thought they were on my side. I mean, I thought they were for upholding the law. But this one is a murder that happened to he's now retired State Trooper, Virginia State Trooper Childs. Now, in this one, it has to do with the timing, and his daughter, Heidi Childs, of course, that's to take off on Childers, the name Childers, and even in it is Laura, which, Childs, which is, I think, the mother of Heidi. But anyway, Heidi and her friend were shot in the Jefferson National Forest, and they went to Virginia Tech at Blacksburg. And it's the timing and date involved, and a rifle was used, and of course it's the agency that's doing it, but it's the American people that allowed it to happen. So, that being said, I'm going to say Elizabeth has lived a life of flaunting it, really. She's lived a life that I don't know anybody else has been able to live. While I've lived being tortured every day, and I do mean tortured, and I have a crown of thorns. That's all you can say. I'm a pauper, buried in a pauper's grave, and I have one change of clothing now and panties.